Hey there, this is Donald McDonald, host of the podcast No Thanks But Yes, featuring chill conversations with splendid people who've overcome problematic relationships with substances and behaviors via many, many pathways. I wanted to share this vignette with you from my latest guest, Ralph, because it beautifully illustrates two key points that I always try to drive home. One is connection. It's absolutely critical that we maintain connection and community with people experiencing problematic relationships with substances, that we include people in pro-social activities and opportunities to have a healthy friend group. So that's connection. And the other one is recovery visibility. And I know y'all are familiar with that. There's a vanguard of us who have been leveraging our recovery status for some time now, being openly in recovery in many, many different settings. So I hope you'll subscribe to the podcast and listen to this full episode with Ralph. It's really something. He is quite a splendid fellow. But sit back and check this out.
So she's been absolute delight. When it comes to the London Gay Men's Chorus, I always they are the cornerstone of my recovery. They are. It sounds dramatic, but they've saved my life. There's no doubt in my head they have, because 2016, yet again, sitting on my friend's couch, bawling my eyes out, going, I don't want to do this anymore. Why do I keep doing this? This is before I kind of acknowledged I was an addict. And my friend Dan was just like, well, why don't you come and sing with me and the boys? And I'd never heard of them. And I've been in London for maybe like 7 years at that point. And I've never heard of them, which is so weird because I've always sung, I've always done choruses. But then I moved here and drugs became more interesting than
Sure.
anything creative. And I joined them. It didn't necessarily stop me using, it has to be said. It's
Yeah.
very tough. It was very tough going to rehearsals on a Monday when you've been on a bender for 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I did it. But in that chorus, I met my first person who I know who was in recovery. I saw him do, they did a sub chorus in the chorus called the Shame Chorus, where they wrote these songs about mental health, addiction, and all this. They had therapists do interviews and then write songs from that.
Mm.
And I went on my birthday back in, it must have been 2017. And then I went on a 4-day bender afterwards. But I'd seen my friend in the chorus kind of go, I'm in recovery, I'm 2 years sober. And I had my first drug psychosis and I was a mess. It was not, it was also the way my family found out. And because I knew he was in recovery, I texted him and kind of go, I need help. You said this at this concert. And he took me to my first NA meeting and my first CMA meeting. And it kind of just trickled from there. So if I hadn't been in the chorus, I'd probably be dead by now, to be honest.
Yes, maybe.